So this is a very interesting session. Today we are going to talk about how modular design is going to enhance the way forward on the data centers. And we have very experienced panelists, Naushath and Bala sir, and they come with a lot of considerable experience in the data center part, and they would be contributing today on how the modular designs are going to help us, and as everybody knows, a new buzzword AI, how AI is also going to complement, or how is it going to enhance the modular designs on that front. So I will start with Naushath, the first question. So what are the key benefits and challenges of integrating AI powered monitoring systems in modular data centers?
Thank you. Hello everyone. Vanakkam Chennai. So Vijay, before answering that question, so where did this modular design concept came from? So I've been living in Chennai. I'm born and brought up in Chennai. Most of you guys who have seen Chennai also kind of visited Ritchie Street, right? It's an electronics hub. If you go through amidst the kiosk that is happening in the street, you will see people selling components, right? And also, not only they sell components, one interesting thing came out of that entire, probably whoever visited Ritchie Street, right? You will also know that they assemble components in a fly. That concept has led to this design of building modular design data centers, which is powering some of the advanced data centers of the world and also AI architectures. So I've also told Anand that, Anand, anything related to the question, put an AI, I'll be there to answer. Okay, so that being said, coming back, the key benefits, right? From a data center standpoint, if I have to envision the entire way that we are seeing things has changed post-COVID. Nobody used to work from home, right? Before COVID, that was not a norm. The new norm was basically getting into probably working from anywhere, right? That was a transformational shift, and that happened because of the backbone of all this AI applications, which is data centers. And this, with AI coming into the picture, what has happened? What has happened is it was actually providing that intelligence in terms of understanding the applications and the data center hardwares better. We were able to predict, understand what's going to be the next trigger point, or when is going to be the failure for this particular equipment. This predictive maintenance and predictive alerts were possible because of the availability of deep learnings and deep learning models and ML models. So that made a significant shift in the availability of hardwares and the data centers, right? I would say, in short, it is no more a buzzword. Modular design and AI are with us, and it's going to transform the way that we are actually accessing application. More and more applications are getting built every day, and these applications needs that edge computing. That is going to be, modular designs are going to be the future for it, and AI is going to play a key role there.
So, thanks, Naushath. So shifting to Bala sir, on the design and engineering focus, my question would be, what are the design challenges you face when adapting modular blueprints and in regional constraints? So different regions are there based on the the topography, the seismology, the geography. So what are the design challenges you think are there?
Yeah. First, good afternoon to one and all. I hope I'm audible. Yeah. So just a prelude. Few years back, we were all at W.Media event, DCD events. We were not talking of AI or modular. I think within the past 4 years, probably, everything has changed. We are sitting in a platform where we are talking of AI and modular constructions. And India is on the growth path. I think it's captured this with the, golden arm, I should say, and spreading across. And this modular and AI was always in a long term done in Western countries, if I'm right. 10 years, 15 years, but we have caught up within 3-4 years. A lot of vendor bases have been developed in the country, and we are in fact exporting to the Western worlds and US, etc. So within 4 years, India has changed to adopt AI and modular constructions. On AI, yes, we are there. Modular, yes, it has picked up, but the OEMs and other people have developed a lot of modular designs. So people should understand what is a modular data center from the design point of view. I will explain few things. It is having three different parts. One is the IT container, the next the cooling container, and the power container. We normally we do it in a traditional way, have different components brought to site, connected, execute, test, and these things. What is this modular thing? This is all prefabricated at the factories, all these modules, all the three modules. We can go to any extent. We can make it more modular, the full building modular, including the civil and structural, and the MEP part. So the thing is, what advantages it gives? Of course, it is very fast, time to the market is very good, because as the civil construction progresses, your equipments are getting ready at the factory, prefabricated, tested to probably L3 level, and then bought and installed at site. So time to the market is very good. You can scale. You don't have to buy everything at the same time. All the infrastructure, depending on what loads you have, megawatt loads, you can order it. That is one part of it. Then the cooling part, we need to spend some time on the design, pre-design this before we do the modular system, because he asked about how it is being developed in different regions. So engineering plays a very important role. We need to, before we hit the project, we need to pre-design based on the climate conditions of where it is going to be installed. So that needs to be taken care in the sort of BIM and digital twins are there. This all has to be integrated. So all this can be done, and then it can come fast to the market, fast to the project site and installed and ready to use. The flip side is, yes, some issues do come. The OEMs have to change. They have to be more flexible, because you are trying to get everything into a container. You need to take care of controls. You need to take care of the fire angle, and how you are going to integrate into the other parts of the power and cooling for the data centers. These all need to be taken care. That's a challenge in front of us. I think it will be overcome with more flexible OEMs along with the design team. This is what my take.
Super. Thank you so much, Bala. That was a good insight. So coming back to Naushath, so scalability. So when you say modular, scalability is a key concern there. And how is AI going to help basically into doing the capacity planning and resource allocations?
Okay. So if you see, before answering to the question, so sir talked about a very interesting fact. Fast forward, we were doing a catch-up game. We were not, we did not start fast, or probably we did not start first. It's been our DNA, right? In India, we are a slow starters initially, but we've progressed really fast. And that's exactly what has happened. The shift is starting to see now with the performance of a lot of our mobile applications, right? Is powered by modular design data center at the back of it. So coming back to it, why scalability is important? Because of the lightning pace of startups, right? The startups are every other day you will see a startup coming from India. So there is a consistent movement in the startup ecosystem, which is basically also this ecosystem needs to be supported, right? And that support will be enabled by the scalability. How AI can kind of leverage, or probably how AI is powering the scalability, is of two aspects. One is, first thing first, AI can understand based on the previous history of patterns, it can understand what is going to be the usage. What's going to be the pattern? When is what is the peak time and what is a non-peak time? And when is what are the times in a year we needed to ramp up the capacity, or what are the times in a year we don't need to kind of enable this capacity for waste, right? This intelligence, right? if we have this intelligence, think of the power we will be able to provide in terms of, not only in terms of energy consumption, not only in terms of providing the right infrastructure at the right time, it also ensures that making things available for our startups, making infrastructure ready applications at any point of time in a year. So that means that AI plays a critical role on one aspect, understanding the pattern. Second aspect is also providing us the intelligence around what are the shift that is going to happen. With the, like now what has happened is, if you see after generative AI, there is a component called agentic AI. You will all, like most of you would have heard the concept of agentic AI. Think of it, there is a modular design that's been set up, and there is a RAM that has been expected. First algorithm will tell you that I'm predicting that we need to ramp up the space by 2x. And this agentic AI, coupled with the prediction that has happened in the first algorithm, it will be able to execute the downstream processes, going and checking the resources, availability of resources in the procurement zone, talking to the procurement autonomously, and getting the quote. In the downstream process can also be autonomously executed, having a human-like thinking. So this agentic AI, along with this AI and the modular design concept, is providing that scalability for our startups and the future ecosystem.
Super. Thanks, Naushath. Sir, now coming to you, what are the trade-offs between the custom engineering and between the modular designs, especially on the power and cooling needs?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, so what is happening normally in a modular design is there are definite set of products available. Now, when we want to do modular and you know what is happening in the industry, it is disruptive now. Suddenly, the network rack densities changes and the requirements changes based on customers. So that how to manage within the existing products of a modular data center. That is where somewhere we need to have flexibility in the modular designs. From the OEMs, they should adopt not only their products, others' products to integrate into the system, and leveraging AI, it should be able to make itself intelligent to perform to the needs of the present and future.
Thank you. So Naushath, so is modularity a buzzword, or is it in a hybrid mode, or what do you think the industry is going towards to?
It's no more a buzzword. It's already buzzing. So it's there. It is there for us to see. Most of the applications that we are using are enabled through the modular design capacitors and data centers, and it's going to be like you will see a rapid increase, right? We will see this modular design enabled across the villages, across the nook and corners of India, and with data center being the center theme for the next decade, and powering these GPUs and the advanced computing resources for these applications to be active and in supporting large number of people. And these modular designs is no more a buzzword, it is already buzzing.
Super. So, sir, from a user perspective, how does this impact on a day-to-day the IT and and the other SLAs?
Yeah, you're asking of modular.
Modular, yes.
Yeah, that's a good point, because what will happen when we do modular data centers, we need sensors and other things inside the modular IT module, power module, and air conditioning module. That is one part. But when we go to the server area, we need to have another set of SLA requirements and see the efficiencies through the AI integrated systems, whether the desired PUE is achieved. Okay. So, I mean, as per our analysis, we are trying to do few data centers. It could get a better PUE using modular data center, modular containers and skids mounted systems. It can give, actually there is a thinking it will be higher PUE. That's not the case. Actually, normal thing is around 1.5 to 2. I think with modular designs, we can achieve 1.3 PUE, which is what the SLA requirements at the server levels for all the consumers. So I think that is what we can achieve through modular design.
Super. So Naushath, like, since you are leaning more towards AI, so do you think, like, using the modular data centers, do you think is it making easier for the scale in and scale outs, especially with the end user computing and the other workloads?
Yeah. So what has happened is like there is no client meetings without AI. There is no slides without AI these days, right? So these are the AI theme. While it can be fancy, it needs that it can deliver a lot of value to the entire human being ecosystem, right? So whatever we use from our smartphones until the applications which is able to read, think, and make decisions like human is all powered. While there is an algorithm and the software on top of it, it has like the backbone is the infrastructure, right? This infrastructure enablement with modular designs are making it more interesting. If you see, the performance is actually ramped up. If I wanted to kind of power edge computing devices in closer to any of our unavailable data center locations, we are able to do that. And the ramping of modules are available. And the availability of GPUs, that is still a concern. And the high-end GPUs are still not available. Some of the GPUs are time-consuming and available at a very higher cost than any other countries in the world. With that challenges keeping aside, yes, definitely it is playing a key role in the world of AI, and it will certainly play a much more further role with coming in with the concept of agentic AI and the other AI. So AI is not changing by years; it's changing by every 3 months, and this modular design has given us that platform for that change to happen. That's my point.
That's fantastic insight, Naushath. Sir, like, again, coming back to the design and engineering focus side, like, do you think the modular construction affects system configurations, system integrations, energy efficiency, and serviceability?
Serviceability and energy efficiency, as I already told, means the energy efficiency for a surprise, it is actually becoming better through modular, because you're confining within a container the whole cooling system or the power modules. So what happens, a shorter distance, it's factory tested, and its performance is continuously very good. So that way, I think the performance as this thing is better in a modular design. So you get better PUEs for the project. So I think that is the thing. Scalability is another advantage. And one more thing I can say, suppose you do a modular IT or this thing, power modules, it can also be shifted to different sites if it is not suitable for this site. Another site's interpolarity can be done with this thing. So that sort of advantages are there. And future, what is happening, the timeline of projects are becoming shorter. Everybody wants to go to the market immediately. So this modular systems will enable the faster construction, faster returns, higher energy efficiency, and it can be bought from the factory on need basis. So that sort of advantages.
Okay. Super. So this question is going to go for both of you, like, and I would like to really see what are your perspectives on this thing. So I'm going to touch upon a very topic called hidden cost. So one of the data centers, if you see, like, the major challenges on the hidden cost and the premiums what we have to pay. So how does this modular design impacts the cost front, and what are the costs that you need to expect in terms of both open and hidden?
I'll go first on that. Yeah. So I think, yeah, the initial cost is high, but if you work on a life cycle cost, this gives a lot of benefit, probably 20% or 30% less on a life cycle cost, and the life of the project also has improved to 20, 25 years. This is the studies from 15 years to, so that's the advantage you'll have, probably the initial cost. But having said that, you can plan. Right now what is happening, we are building infrastructures, probably 50% of when we need 10% of the thing. In a modular construction, you can go close to that. You need 20%, you can do it. Because it takes few weeks, 24 weeks, 30 weeks of delivery. You can plan your cost requirement for the project accordingly. That advantage is there in the modular.
So this is out of syllabus. He did not give me this question at all. Jokes apart. See, from a hidden cost, there's a huge amount of cost here. It's not available for cheap, first of all, right? Think of it, there was a restriction that was, there was a restriction and a limitation for exporting certain equipments to China that led the DeepSeek innovation. DeepSeek kind of wanted to find out a large language model which can operate on a very, very thin GPU space. Likewise, we have that limitation. I don't know how many people are experiencing it. From a GPU standpoint, we don't get all the high performance computing equipment as that easily as any other countries. So the manufacturing, in-house homegrown manufacturing needs to increase or improve. That is one of the ways that we will be able to avoid a lot of cost. Import cost is a major cost. Import duty is major things. And most of the players who are doing it it will be more political if I make that statement. It is coming from United States, and with the tariff war that is happening, which is basically making it more complex for us to consume these resources from India. While it is a bitter truth to accept, but that's a fact, right? But increasingly, if in the future, if we have more and more computing and all these GPUs manufacturing happening in India, that will ease up. And Chennai being the hub of industries and manufacturing, I'm very, very hopeful and bullish about Chennai becoming the center point of this particular manufacturing equipment. And we also have the raw talents, the brain powers of that can, unimaginable brain powers that are sourcing from Chennai. And hopeful that the next 5 to 6 years, it will be our year and we will be able to manufacture and deliver a lot of these powers for the entire India.
Yeah, I'll just add on to something. I think all the manufacturers of chillers, DG sets and electrical equipments, there was a time when we had to get for certain sizes, we need to go abroad. I think that has changed presently. We are exporting from here to things. So that's an advantage from the price point of view if you produce within the country, as he said. Of course, GPUs and other things is a different ball game. But from the MEP point of view, equipments are being available here, so it should be cost effective going forward.
So now we have come to, this might be the last question, and then probably we'll open up for question and answers. So now we are at a crossroad where from custom engineering we went to modular. Now we are looking at AI-driven automation. So where do you think the intersection happens? Like, and what do you think is going to be the future trend? I think both of you can answer that question.
Wild thing first. Probably there is a lot of disruption on the data center. So probably the quantum and GPU might mix and give us something else as a challenge for all of us in the industry. So we should be future ready that way. Okay. I don't know whether it makes sense to mix quantum and GPU thing. So these sort of challenges will always be there. Like we are talking morning, we had the panel people talking of 1 gigawatt in one server. That's what future could be. So right now we are looking at 600 kilowatt. We are also doing a design for 600 kilowatt. So these are the challenges which will keep coming at us. We should be geared to meet all these challenges and take it forward.
I think I certainly echo what Sir stated. I think that's pretty much it. I don't have a much more larger point of view, but in terms of what the transformation is going to happen, I've already covered those points, and I echo Sir's thoughts. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Open up for question and answers. Anybody has any questions? I think you have some very good panelists here, very knowledgeable people. So, any questions?
mic there?
Create a data center facility for say about 30 megawatt or so on, what will be the scalability which you will just predict for a modular after 5 years or a decade?
See, it could go in the range of 250 to 300 kilowatt. That could be the scalability. And somebody talked about the master planning when you do it. You need to look at a master plan which includes the scalability part. The 50 might go to 200, 300 within the 2 years. I think that's the time NVIDIA also in one of the presentation I saw. So that might be for the same footprint, it will change to 300 kilowatt. So I think that sort of things are happening in the market. So I think the scalability will go to that level. But having said that, if you have done a 30 kilowatt, you need to make provisions for presently 120 to 200 kilowatt requirements. And when you do the next phases and other things, it will go to 200, 300. And people are looking at with CDU coming into place up to 1,500 kilowatt scalability they're looking at. Within the same hall, given the same hall footprint. Only thing we need to take care of the structural loading and other part when you do the designs with respect to scalability.
Good. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah. While we talk about modular design, the quicker delivery and cost advantage, there's also something like customization that we come across mostly. So if you look at typically, it's not the same, one size doesn't fit all. There's rack labs, rack benches. People want to use data centers differently. So how do you foresee such requirements helping on this modular design?
Yeah. So that's what I was telling, the ecosystem of OEMs have to be a little bit more flexible in doing the designs, modular designs, and designers also have to play a lot of role in that. When you do a modular design, keep some spaces for changes. That is what is the way to go forward in addressing all the needs. So even if you, because it's very disruptive right now, data centers, we also faced problems in many of the data centers we designed suddenly. As one gentleman asked, 30 kilowatt, we went to 120 kilowatt, we had to change the loading of the flooring, but we found a solution. So this sort of flexibility from the OEMs also should be available to take it forward.
Super.
Thank you.
Yep. Any more questions?
Hi. Just one, because most of the operator like are having their template and that kind of a design process. So in that project or that kind of a condition, how you feeling that modular parts, like how you cope up, as well as there, as most of the operator asking ready AI design. I mean, like they're not designing, but they want that need to be ready when AI come. So how you meeting that challenge?
Yeah. So what we need to do is look at basically this AI when it comes, the chiller or dry cooler plays a role. So we need to make provisions for this dry coolers, CDU locations, we need to plan. So this sort of flexibility we need to make in the building footprints. Okay, so that is how we need to overcome this. So dry coolers, because when you use AI enabled servers, you don't need the same power of chiller as plant. So we need to make a provision of hybrid. That's what